Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different, something I've never filmed before, and it's going to be called Beauty, Where to Spend and Save, and I am hoping you guys will like it. I was kind of thinking of new video ideas last night and I just thought this might be a fun one to film. So let me know if you like it, let me know if you don't, and if you have any requests of videos to film for the next month, then let me know, because I'm working on all my schedule and stuff over the next few weeks. So if you have anything you would like to see, then let me know. So basically this video is going to be talking through all of the categories of beauty product as you would apply them. So starting with primer and ending with lipstick, so working your way up throughout the face. A lot of them are actually ones that I'm wearing today, but it's basically talking through each category and whether or not I think that it's worth spending extra money on that item, say foundation or concealer, or whether it's an item that you can save money on and buy from the drugstore. And personally, I tend to go for drugstore items of that said particular category more often. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to get into it. It will make sense when I start talking if it doesn't already. So starting off with primer. For me, primer is definitely one that I would say spend the money on, because they are fairly kind of linked to skincare. And in terms of cheap primers, there are some cheap primers that I think are good. As with all of these categories, there's definitely, even if I love low end like concealers, there's definitely high end concealers I love too. However, the primers that tend to stand the test of time in my makeup collection tend to be high-end ones, and they tend to perform a little bit better as well. My personal favourite one, and the one I use today, is the Fenty Beauty one. I really can't fault this primer. I think it's really good. It's also a product, I feel like primer is a product that lasts a really long time as well, as is foundation, which is why I've also included foundation in my spend category. I tend to go, although there are some great low-end foundations, drugstore foundations out there, I do tend to find myself reaching for more high-end foundations. I think a lot of it is to do with the performance throughout the day, so they last longer, they apply better in my experience, and they always have more shades. Well, pretty much always have more shades in the high-end brands than they do in the drugstore, which I think a lot of it is to do with how much space they have. Obviously, you don't have a whole counter in like Boots or whatever, you just have a little square, as opposed to having like a whole counter with drawers and everything. So in terms of storing like 40 shades, I think Lancome's do 44 shades, Fenty I think does over 40 shades. So like if you're gonna have a lot of shades, the drugstore don't tend to be the ones to offer all the shades. So foundation for me is definitely a category that I like to go high-end on, and my favourite foundation at the moment that I've been using the last couple of weeks is the YSL Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow. This is what I'm wearing today. It's a really good, fresh, lightweight foundation that you can build up. So it's like a really good everyday foundation. It's really fresh and glowy. Really love that a lot. Moving on to concealer, I actually have quite a lot of concealers in my makeup bag here to show you, because I love drugstore concealers so much. They are without a doubt my favourite type of concealer. I find myself reaching for cheaper concealers over high-end concealers all the time, and it's not just for one particular concealer. I'm not sure why it is, but I really think that concealer is a step in your makeup routine that you can really save money on. You don't have to spend a lot of money on concealer, in my opinion. There are some amazing low-end concealers out there, and probably, like, I know more high street concealers that I love than high-end ones. Just to tell you about three, or I might even tell you about four, but I only have three to show you. First one is the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age, the Eraser. This is the brightening one. I love this as like a pre-concealer, like slightly correcty vibes. The Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. I talk about this all the time. I don't need to waffle on about it, but very limited shades. They have like 4 shades, but the texture is like amazing. Like, amazing coverage, amazing staying power. And then something a little more glowy, the Bourjois Healthy Mix. I also love the Radiance Reveal. That is gorgeous, but that wasn't in my, I think it's in my handbag somewhere downstairs, so I just grabbed this one. All of the Bourjois concealers I absolutely love. So yeah, concealer's definitely one of the ones where you can save money. Moving on to colour for the face, I actually definitely think bronzer and blusher are somewhere where I tend to go higher end. So mainly for the reason that I think the quality of the powder tends to be better in terms of the amount of pigment that you're laying down. I find either a lot of the time when you have drugstore blushes and bronzers, and not always, like I say, there's always exceptions to the rule, but they're either not pigmented enough or way too pigmented. And to find that kind of balance of the perfect level of pigmentation but also really good staying power, my personal favourites tend to always be high end. So two of my favourites, and the ones that I'm wearing today, are the Too Faced Papa Don't Peach blush. I also think with blushes and bronzers, they tend to last, especially blushes, because you use a little bit less. They tend to last so long that it's probably worth investing if it's going to be like an everyday product that's going to last you like 6 months or a year or whatever. It's worth spending the money on, in my opinion, because it doesn't run out so quickly. And then my other favourite bronzer is the Hourglass. This is the Radiant Bronze Light bronzer. It's absolutely amazing. Like I said before, there are definitely some exceptions to the rules. I think the L'Oreal Cushion bronzer is a major exception to that bronzer rule because I love that and it's really affordable. Well, not really, I think it's still £10, but it's a lot cheaper than a lot of the cushion products out there. Moving on to the eyes, and I think for me, pencil eyeliner is one area where I think you really can save. My favourite drugstore pencil eyeliners are these ones, which are the Rimmel Scandalised ones. Barry M also do some really good ones. There are so many. I think there's only actually a couple of factories that make eyeliner of this kind of type. Someone told me that once that works in the industry. They're basically like, it is the same stuff. So pencil eyeliner for me, I always choose to save on. Even if I do like a high-end one, I still think the drugstore ones are good enough to justify you not spending the money on the expensive ones, because these are like £3.99 and you can spend like £25 on a Chanel eyeliner and it's literally no better. However, liquid eyeliner I think is worth spending a little bit of money on because I find that the applicators make a huge difference. I do find there are some drugstore ones that I do really like and the applicators are okay, but a lot of the time the staying power then lets them down. I find if you want that combination of a really good applicator that makes applying your liquid liner easier and also the staying power longer, I tend to go for more high-end ones. This is one of my favourites. This is actually kind of mid-range. This is the Kat Von D Trooper eyeliner, which actually is the like brush liquid tip as opposed to the felt tip. Really, really like that. In terms of brows, I think this is somewhere that I personally, well, I have my own brow range in the drugstore, so I'm obviously gonna say that that's my favourite, but I do think in general it's the same with kind of pencil eyeliners, that brow pencils, you can go drugstore and it doesn't make too much difference in terms of what kind of product you're getting. And I also think kind of the same with mascara, but I'm kind of like majorly on the fence because I do love a lot of high-end mascaras. However, you can get some amazing mascaras on the drugstore, on the high street. And the reason why I've gone with the cheaper mascaras and say you can save on buying mascara is the fact that you have to buy mascara a lot more frequently than a lot of your other products. So you should really be replacing your mascara every 3 months, if not every month. I know a lot of people replace it every month, but in terms of it's kind of touching your eye, they tend to kind of harbour bacteria and stuff. So if you are wanting to save a significant amount of money, if you do replace your mascaras frequently, you can get some really good ones on the high street. And my favourite ones generally are Maybelline. I really, really like Maybelline mascara. I really rate them. I do actually like a lot of others. I love Max Factor mascara as well, but actually the Max Factor ones are, some of them are £10 to £15, and to me that's just too much money in terms of being a drugstore mascara. I'd rather spend £20 and buy a high-end one, but that's just me. So yeah, Maybelline mascaras are really good. When it comes to eyeshadow, I think that is a category that I definitely say spend on, partly because if you're buying a palette like this, it will last you a really, really long time. This is the NARS Wanted palette that I've been using loads at the moment and that I'm wearing today as well. I'm wearing this colour here and this colour here today. Really love them. But yeah, I think if you are going to buy eyeshadow, you're better off investing in a palette that will last you like years. Like I have some palettes, even if you use them daily, they'd probably still last you a year. Like if you've got a lot of colours and you use all of the colours, I think you just got to buy wisely, and then they are kind of worth the money. Things like the Urban Decay Naked palettes, they're so worth the money because you're getting so many different colours and the quality is amazing. There are some really good affordable eyeshadows out there. The collection palettes I really like, but they don't have such a massive selection of colours, and the ones that do have loads of colours, I find the pigmentation can be hit and miss. Some of the shades are good, some of them aren't. But if you want like a staple palette for your makeup bag to last you like years or a year plus, then I would say go high end. And then last but not least, for lipstick, I would also say spend the money on lipstick. And I know this is a controversial one because you definitely can get good lip products on the high street. A lot of people would say that they like lip products, like more affordable lip products, but there are a few that I like, but in general I tend to find myself reaching for the more expensive ones. This is the one I'm wearing today, which is the Marc Jacobs Slow Burn. Last time I wore this I had so many questions. for me, it's not so much about the formula that makes me say go for high-end lipsticks and lip glosses. It's more so about the shade selection. I find that the more high-end designer brands tend to have a much better shade selection. Obviously, there are exceptions to that rule, as with all of this whole video. But in general, I find that if I'd rather buy one really nice lipstick than lots of kind of brighter colours I don't wear so much. Although that is another point. If you're not going to wear, say if you buy you want to buy a red lipstick for an event, or if you don't wear it very often, then you're better off going for a drugstore lipstick. But if you want to buy like an everyday lipstick and you want a really nice formula and a really perfect everyday colour, then I think go for high end. So that is it for this video. I hope it made sense and I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a little bit different. Let me know if you have any suggestions for new videos that you want to see soon, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.